I haven't managed money in over 10 years, but I do trade stocks every single day. See, if we look at the quarter that ended in March of 2025, their earnings were up 63%. In June, they were up 78%. And in September, right, their earnings were up over 110%. You know, I get phone calls all day long from friends, clients, family members. They want to know what I'm doing in the market. Truth of the matter is, I haven't managed money in over 10 years, but I do trade stocks every single day. And you know, I can tell them what stock I'm buying, but more importantly, they need to know why I'm buying something. I'm going to show you guys in 2 minutes exactly how I evaluate stock positions. Come over to my charts with me. All right. First of all, the system that I use is called Market Surge. It's made by Investors Business Daily. What that does is it aggregates all the information that I need for me to know whether or not I want to place a trade on. Not only that, they have algorithms in here that uses technical analysis that tells me where I should buy the stock, where I should sell the stock, but more importantly, when I should take profits. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If you look at the screen right here, I pulled up Palantir. I love Palantir. I've been in this position since $60 a share. It's ran up to about 200. It pulled back down. I might add to my position here, but let me show you guys why. If we look at this chart, this is a daily chart of Palantir starting May of last year, running through May of 2 years ago, running through March, okay? One thing that I look for whenever I'm making an investment, and this is probably the most important thing, right, is I want to see earnings increasing quarter after quarter for at least the last 3 quarters. So on this system right here, we can see if we look at the quarter that ended in March of 2025, their earnings were up 63%. In June, they were up 78%. And in September, right, their earnings were up over 110%. Not only that, the next thing that I want to know is who else is buying the stock? I don't want to be in there with a ton of retail traders. I want to be in there with institutions. You know, the guys that account for 80 cents out of every single dollar that's publicly traded, right? So we look over here and we look at the SMR rating, we look at the composite rating, we look at the accumulation distribution, we look at the composite rating to see who exactly is in there buying the stock alongside of us. I also want to see where they stand in terms of earnings per share to the overall market. So we look over here at the relative strength rating. A 99, you don't get much better than that. Plus, I add that to a catalyst of what news and contracts I'm hearing that Palantir is going to receive. By doing that, I know exactly where to get in and out of the stock. But here's the cool feature about this system. If we go to a different company, we go to what companies are breaking out today. I can go right here and I go to Innova International. See, Innova, what they're doing is the company came up on high volume and they broke out past the new 52-week high. This price right here, that's called the pivot point. That's exactly where you want to buy the stock. But like I tell you all the time, you always want to protect your downside as well. So the cool thing about Market Surge is it tells you where you should be taking out the stock in case things move in the wrong direction. And let me tell you, they do. One thing I'll tell you is bulls get a little, bears get a little, and pigs get slaughtered. You see, when I buy a stock, I have a very simple philosophy. The company's either going to move in the right direction or it's going to move in the wrong direction. If I ever see a company move in the wrong direction by more than 10 to 12%, especially in a market like this, I cut my losses right away. Because, you know, in my opinion, 10, 12%, that's pretty easy to make up. But I'm sure you know, once you find yourself down 20, 30, 40%, you start to get in some trouble. So here's what I do to mitigate my risk. Look, no matter what the market's doing, no matter what noise is out there, it could be headlines, I always use a trailing stop loss up below my initial entry level and at every trading level once the stock trades up. So if I am right and we buy a stock at 10 and it trades to 12, what I do is I trail that 10 to 12% stop loss up with me above each and every trading level. This way, if any bad news does come out on the market or any bad news comes out on the stock itself, I've protected the capital I've made along the way.